All right, we are live. So we're talking about importing video clips today. This is easy, but if you don't know how to do it and you kind of miss and you don't go the right steps, it'll get really confusing really quickly. So I'm on step 2 in your handout here, which is titled Import Video Clips. Notice there's an asterisk there, okay? The asterisk is there's an extra step for the red cameras. Right now we're going to focus on the black camera, which can be a lot easier, in my mind at least, to download because there's fewer steps. So insert memory card into card reader on side of computer. We've already done that. What I'm experiencing with our computers is sometimes when you insert that card, it reads it, and sometimes it doesn't. So on Sylvie's computer today, it didn't read it, and I want to teach you the workaround there. The workaround is that we do have download cables. This is old school, all right? So the download cable on the black cameras does fit inside. There is an audio-visual USB download. You connect the USB to your computer, and what I'm finding is if your computer doesn't automatically read the card, it will definitely work in this scenario. So once we've got that connected, then we open iMovie. It's kind of strange that you have to open iMovie after. All right. Is it going to open up for us here? Go for it. It definitely has to do with the order of operations here. It's kind of like math. Get everything connected. And even if you have to plug in like this, then it will force you to select something called Connect to PC and then Playback on PC. So right now this screen says Playback on PC, and it should hopefully be ready to go. If we go to step A2 there, we have a camera icon right here. So in the middle left, that's the import that you want. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And you can see that it comes up with all of your clips that are on the card. This is exactly what you want to see. Okay? A couple of things here. It gives us automatic versus manual. I like to do manual. That means I'm controlling it. So go ahead and click on manual there. Slide it down. There we go. Now we have some options. It has automatically selected all of the clips for importing. Now, I'm looking at these first 2 clips that are 1 second long and they are super dark. That to me says, I don't maybe need those. So I'm going to say uncheck all. And now what it allows you to do is simply hit the check boxes of the clips that you want. So Sylvie, if you know that you guys want those 2 1-second clips for this, go for it. If not, so you want to scroll through and click on everything. And I always say if I'm uncertain about whether I want that clip or not, you might as well download it. It'll be easier to download it now and know that you don't need it versus later. All right. So those are all the ones you want? Okay, now it's as simple as import checked. We want to go full size here. We're not dealing with that much video. If we had 3 hours of video, maybe we would change that. But we're going to go full or original size. Notice it's the highest possible quality, and it just requires more hard disk space. You guys have plenty of hard disk space, so that's not a problem for us. This does put us into the 1080p HD format, which obviously most of us prefer these days. So we're going to click OK. Now, here's an important one, because a lot of times I'll have students who say, oh, the import didn't work correctly. Well, it worked. You just didn't name it properly so that you would be able to recognize it. So why don't we call this Practice Shots Movie. Now, we shot this all on one day for the groups that finished yesterday. So where it says split days into new events, I always like to deselect that, because if it's selected, then it's gonna break your clips up potentially into different little import events, and I don't like that for importing video. We're full original size. We could analyze for stabilization, but it takes a lot longer, so we're not gonna do that. So let's go ahead and click import. And now you can see it quite literally is going to go for every clip that she selected. It's going to very quickly import all of those clips. All right? This would be a good time for questions while that's importing. David, you had a question or comment?
I forgot it.
Okay. Good work. Anybody else have a question while hers are importing there? So I'm going to preview a little bit then the red camera, because there is something else I want to show you here before we make her sign off. The difference with the red camera is that the red cameras, for whatever reason, our computers don't see them as being video cameras, so we have to import into iPhoto first. Then from iPhoto, we open iMovie, and then there's a quick question that we have to answer properly. If you don't answer it properly, then you think you don't have your movies, okay? So it'll be, it's not necessarily harder, it's just an extra step. So it's counting right here. We've got less than a minute for all of these to import. You don't want to do, in my mind, anything else on your computer while this is importing. Because what I have found in the past is I feel like if you go out to the internet, or if your computer is busy with other things, then it potentially can compromise the quality, or sometimes I've even seen it cut off where it just doesn't import all the clips because the computer is kind of putting its energy into something else. That may be just me. I feel like that has happened before. David.
I remember my question.
Great.
Before. Can you just click check all and then take out the ones that you don't?
You could, yes. You could absolutely do the reverse. So you could do check. You could leave them because they will come pre-selected, and then you could just uncheck the ones that you don't want. That's a good point. All right. So we're imported here. Everything looks good. Import complete. Okay. And now we want to hit done. And now notice in the event library here on the left, it will automatically date this for you by year. So obviously we're in 2016. And then it will organize them by event. So this is your practice shots movie. You've got all of your raw footage down below here. So our next step that we will take once everybody's got this downloaded is then we'll start to talk about how do we create a movie with this raw footage. This is your big step here. Once you have the raw footage, everything else becomes that creative process about making and editing a movie. All right? But until you have your raw footage, you really don't have anything yet. And this can, for a longer movie, if you shot like 30 minutes worth of video, this obviously would take a lot longer to download. Okay? So that's where we're at right there. Any last questions before we have Sylvie sign off? All right. So that is how to download your video clips from a black camera in our class into iMovie. Thank you very much.